Welcome to the Popish plot. I'm Mike.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Nate.
It's Wordy Wednesday, and today's plot is Pope Francis's latest apostolic exhortation, Gaudete et Exsultate.
Which in English means rejoice and be glad.
It's easy for you to say.
It was.
Yeah, that's why you got the lead. And that is also the first thing it says, as well as what Bible passage it's from.
Now, while Mike and I haven't actually gotten a chance to read it yet, it is near the top of our list.
I did tell both of you guys we were doing an episode on this days ago.
Yes, but we wouldn't be good procrastinators if we did something the moment you told us to go and do it.
I'm getting around to it.
Exactly.
But reasons why you shouldn't be like us is that it is only 177 paragraphs long, which for a papal document, is not at all bad.
No, it's relatively short. Also, most of that is Bible verses and saint quotes. So if you already know those things, you can kind of sort of gloss over those parts and just focus on the bits that the Pope has to say.
Yeah, there's some saint stories too, but yeah.
I want to disassociate myself from the idea of glossing over Bible quotes or the wisdom of the saints. I love Nate, but no glossing.
All right, well, why don't we go on to the main points of what this is about?
Every single one of us is called to be a saint.
That's correct. We'll of course probably be talking more about this as we go on, because, well, why wouldn't we talk more about this?
Well, of course, on a macro level, the entire Popish plot is about the universal call to holiness.
Yes.
To be a saint.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you need to remember not to be afraid of being a saint. Sure, a lot of people look at it and go, oh, I couldn't be one of those people. You should try. Because those people are more alive, more human than the rest of us.
How so?
Well, in their quest for holiness, to be connected directly to God.
Who is the author and source of life itself.
Exactly. They were therefore more directly connected with the fount of life. They were living their lives more fully, and they were being more like what God had originally created them to be.
He then follows it up with two modern enemies to holiness.
The first, Gnosticism, an ancient enemy of the Church. But what does Pope Francis mean by Gnosticism in this context?
Well, in this context, he's taking one of the base ideas of Gnosticism, the fact that essentially it's all about knowledge, as the Gnostics hated material and matter, and we're largely all about how there's this secret knowledge, and that's how you became holy.
Mm-hmm.
So he's more talking about the people who might spend all their time studying about God, but not actually experiencing God and doing anything with all that information. Just using knowledge as an end to itself.
Mm. And the second one, I know this one, is Pelagianism.
That's a big word.
It is. That's a $5 word right there.
And I feel like some people are only semi-Pelagianist.
Yes. Pelagianism.
Is that a $6 word or a $4? Because it's not quite as much Pelagianism.
$4.50?
Pelagianism is basically like an inverse of the Gnosticism that we already discussed. Whereas Gnosticism was all about knowing, Pelagianism was all about doing. It was a real salvation by works kind of a thing. Modern example of this would be the person who is outgoing and helping the community to the detriment of their own home. So, you know, they're so busy taking care of other people that they're not taking care of those people that God has specifically entrusted to them.
An example of this would be the French philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau, who wrote extensively about the need to love the people, and yet, whenever he would father a child, would then immediately abandon that child.
Yes.
Caring for the people, but not about actual people.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then, of course, we must follow it up by pointing out that we are saved by grace, not knowledge or works.
Nope. Those two things may get you really far in life, but they won't get you far beyond it.
And then he follows it up with how you can have examples of holiness using the Bible example of the Beatitudes.
And of course, one of the Beatitudes that the Pope highlights is the need to be merciful to others, and how this mercy cannot be separated from your growth in holiness.
Nope.
If you think you're growing in holiness and yet you're not merciful, you're not actually growing in holiness.
Mm-hmm. And he then gave signs of holiness in today's world, which he makes a special point. It's not like how to be holy. It's simply,
more if you are. It's more of a. It's less of a checklist towards holiness and more of a barometer of holiness.
Yes, these are the type of things that as you grow in holiness you would expect to have in your life.
Like perseverance,
Patience,
Meekness.
joy, and a sense of humor.
boldness.
Passion.
Now, on the boldness and passion part, he didn't note that it's passion for our Lord and for, spreading the gospel. Not yelling at your favorite soccer team.
Or being really, really active on your Game of Thrones online community.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, there's got to be passion for the right things.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Now, it was, as I understand it, it was pointed out that one cannot grow in holiness outside of the community and prayer.
Yes. He made a point to note that, you need to pray. Yes, you need to get away from the world and have time with God. But you also need to be part of a community. If you're, unless you're an actual hermit monk, you are part of a community and you need to interact and show your holiness by being merciful to those around you.
Take the example from the Transfiguration, where
Build tents?
where Peter, John, and James go up the mountaintop. They see the Lord standing with Moses and Elijah. They have this wonderful mountaintop experience. They hear the voice of God, but they can't stay there. They have to go down to where the people are and continue God's work among the community.
So hermit monks don't have any sort of community? I mean, there's not like a group of hermit monks who don't get together monthly?
Well, there's not a lot of hermit monks nowadays, but, those were like early when they first started having monks. Now most monks live in community or they actually live out in public. Like there are some orders where they interact with the public all the time. So.
Fair enough.
That sounds like a whole other episode.
Probably. But anyway.
The ideas just generate themselves.
I know. But as it is a short, letter, it has a short amount of points. So our last one is he ends in a section about spiritual combat and the importance of discernment.
I can't go into discernment. I already have a vocation.
No. Not just vocational discernment. Just everyday discerning what is God's will. Is this thing that I think is good what I should be doing? He is a Jesuit. He's very big about,
So we got to do it every day.
Mm-hmm.
More than once, at least.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's a lot of work, but it brings you closer to God.
Okay. So
5 quick takeaways from Gaudete et Exsultate.
Ooh, you didn't even read that off the prompter. Good job.
1. The devil is real. He's not an abstract concept. It's not just the bad things we do. The devil is an actual entity who really hates you and wants you dead.
Yep.
Once you're dead. Like, not like dead and then off to heaven with you. No.
Super dead.
Super dead.
I think that the technical term would be spiritually dead.
Yeah, but I like super dead.
Super dead is
much
very
cooler.
better.
Number two is that this is how we've always done it is not an answer. In order for us to grow, we have to be able to adapt. The things that always worked aren't always going to be the things that do work.
Now, he did make a point in this part to note that, of course, the truths of the church are unchanging and timeless. It's more how you implement them for today.
Sure. I'm just saying, how we went out and how we reached people before may not reach people now.
Yes.
We have to be willing to look for new roads and to get to the same goal.
And those new methods take us to the 3rd point.
Which is, don't be an internet bully. I mean, this was not his exact words, but his point was that, if you wouldn't say it to someone's face, don't type it in the comments.
And if you would say it to someone's face, then maybe you should really consider what it is you're doing. Is this building you up? Is it building them up? Or is it just tearing everybody down for fun?
Yes. the signs from before about meekness and such.
Number 4, the Pope urges us to reread the Bible frequently,
Yes.
which I don't think this is something we've ever discussed here.
No,
at the Popish blog.
we're good Catholics. We don't read the Bible here. We just wait for the Pope to tell us what it says.
Well, technically, he did only say to reread the Beatitudes frequently. I mean, it seemed implied that he meant you read the whole Bible, but, that's like a page. I mean, given how long it took you to, you're going on reading this, maybe in like a month or two you can get around to that.
Sure. And finally, personal relationship with the Lord is a necessary part of Christian life.
Wait. That's not just a Protestant thing?
No, it's not just a Protestant thing. Jesus is a person. God is a person. You are a person. If you are not interacting with these other persons, then are you really being a Christian?
If you've never met Jesus, you're probably falling into the Gnostic heresy.
Yes.
Of having the head knowledge,
but not the heart knowledge.
but no heart knowledge.
Or the adverse one,
Or the Pelagianism.
I go to
I
Mass
go
every
to
Sunday.
Mass every Sunday, and I do
confession
good
once
things.
a year, so I'm good. That's what the church laws say I have to do.
I was that guy for a long time. It doesn't work.
So go down below, comment with your favorite saint quote on holiness.
Now, we've seen lots of saint quotes on holiness, so we expect it to be something about being a pyromaniac. They were all about setting things on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think it says something in the Bible, too, about that, but,
Regardless, more fire.
yes.
So next episode should have kerosene.
No.
I'm not going to say no.
No. Are we doing it at your place?
I'm not going to volunteer that either.
Okay.
So no.
All right. So
Perhaps we can find like an outdoor location.
make sure to check the description below, where we will have a link to the Pope's apostolic exhortation, so that you can read it.
And
Yep.
don't be like us. Actually read it.
Yes.
It's in English.
Don't put it off till the last minute.
It's in British English. I saw a couple U's that didn't need to be there, but it's in English.
Like this episode, subscribe to our channel, ring the church bell to be notified whenever a new episode is uploaded, and until next time,
Live your faith.
Love your faith.
share that love.